launching her album Grateful Heart. Rose Bazzie has been a cardinal member to the Sheffield community. She's of Liberian heritage, and tonight she launches Grateful Heart, which chronicles her grateful journey from the time of being a refugee during the Liberian War into Sheffield, where she rose through the ranks, became a nurse, and also a leader within the West African community.
That's who you are.
Good evening and welcome to Sheffield.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be in Sheffield.
Thank you. May I take your name, please?
My name is Albert Jaja.
Okay, Mr. Jaja, thank you for joining us. So you've come all the way from the Liberian Embassy to support the album launch for Grateful Heart, which is by Bazzie. Could you tell us more about your involvement with this?
Well, firstly, as an institution, we haven't got any institutional arrangement, but our job is to promote, consolidate, and elevate Liberians' innovation, Liberian effort in whatever sphere of life within the dimension of the United Kingdom. So Minister Bazzie's effort towards this launch is quite commendable, and it elevates the Liberian spirit and Liberian thinking. And the uniqueness of the album is steeped in Liberian history as well, Liberian culture. The performances blend unique Liberian languages, and Liberian stories come together in the song. So beyond the fact that we have a duty to support Liberians, there's also a lot of unique features about who we are, and the whole attitude about Liberian contribution within the United Kingdom is also very important. And so it's not just a song, but she does a good job in telling multiple stories about what have we been through in the most recent years.
I was actually going to be asking you a little bit about that. I mean, Rose and her husband have been icons in Sheffield in terms of their migration story, their refugee backgrounds, and I think that is true for a lot of Liberians. In that context, seeing the progress that both Rosie and Kjlatoe have actually made here in Sheffield and across the diaspora, is there anything that resonates with you as far as the Liberian diaspora with the background, the history of war?
Quite uniquely, we celebrate Liberians irrespective of what their unique past may be. And the Liberian diaspora historically has always been a fortress, a foundation towards the larger Liberian state as a whole. So the contribution of Liberians beyond the country towards the transformation and development of the country is rating all over the place. And even more importantly, that Liberians who have had a difficult story, transforming those experiences into meaningful ventures for themselves and setting a pedestal for other Liberians to emulate and present, not just themselves, but knowing the fact that they just don't represent themselves, they represent their country, and considering the contemporary discourse around migration and immigrants and what they do. So these stories represent not just a Liberian story or Liberia as a whole, but it's woven in the broader national discussion or international discussion about what do immigrants represent.
Absolutely. I think I would also like to add that that's the story of the African diaspora. It's our contributions and recognizing our efforts in spaces that we ordinarily would not be recognized for. So in terms of your role at the embassy, I did not ask you what that is. Could you tell me that? But before you do that, could you also think about how you would encourage the younger generation of African diasporas to helping to contribute to the narrative?
Well, I'm in charge of media and community relations and culture and other matters. So basically, I'm in charge of press and public affairs. So, but I do a lot of liaison work with the Liberian community organization and groupings. So, as far as the broader African diaspora is concerned, it is even worth noting that the gathering, the composition of this occasion, I mean, there are Liberians, Nigerians, and varying groupings represented, Ghanaians, and even British organizations represented here today. So the occasion alone shows us about the partnership, the collaboration, without which a great story, the Minister Bazzie's story, would not have been possible. Those of whom she had worked ever since, trying to climb the ladder, branching into nursing, and even more strategically, that most of what she's doing here today will end up into charity. So a little boy in a community where I grew up, a little girl in a community where I grew up could be beneficiaries of the effort she's making today. So that's quite laudable for us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for giving us your time today. You've been on African Voices TV. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing. You and your wife have achieved a lot. How do you feel about her album launch today?
It's amazing. 20 years ago, I met my wife in the refugee camp, as a young adult, unaccompanied child before and living in the refugee camp. And today, 20 years later, we're here today celebrating many other successes, not only as a musician, she's also a career nurse. And I work for the British Refugee Council through the UNHCR program. It's amazing to just say thank you to the British people. Thank you for the humanitarian status in the world. We know that the 19th of August is a World Humanitarian Day. So we should be celebrating people who have donated to people like myself to be settled. But hey, we're also grateful to say we can give something back to society.
That's brilliant. So talking about tomorrow being World Humanitarian Day, tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and this is Sunday, and the show is airing on Wednesday. But in general, African diaspora has contributed a lot to the spaces that they live in and that they occupy now. So looking back to people who've come from civil wars, also who've just come on different platforms, can you just speak to that and the successes as well?
It's very sad to know that as we stand now, we have about 70.8 million people on the move, and we have 26 million who are refugees. It's sad to know that we still live in a society where people are still not able to live safely in their homes. However, there are people who are still willing to help those people who are on the run, and the UK is one of the countries that's doing so. So refugees who are in the diasporas and able to do something, I say go ahead and do what you can do. Do not let yourself down. Don't let the sky be your limit. And Minister Rose and myself and many other refugees have contributed a lot to the British society. So we are not liability. We are here to say we can do it together.
And absolutely, it also speaks to the fact that because it is a humanitarian crisis that will force people to flee their lands, it means it can affect anybody, and anybody from the UK could be faced under similar circumstances. And the world has become quite increasingly resistant towards accommodating people who are fleeing. Do you have any message on Humanitarian Day that you could pass on?
Absolutely. I asked a question to the High Commissioner in Geneva in June, and I said, we thank you for all the support you're giving to refugees. What we want to know is, what are you doing to prevent war, so that people don't even run from their countries? And the question that they couldn't answer. But all we have to say is that, yes, of course, there are still hostile environments, there are still hostile communities where people don't understand the plight of refugees. I want to say my role has been always to raise awareness. I go to universities and colleges, I speak to people to the fight of refugees, and they have the choice. Whatever life is, if I've lived in the refugee camp for 12 years, you know, there's no tougher places we cannot be.
So we're really honored to have you on African Voices TV today. It's Kanvee Adams.
Yes, I'm Kanvee Adams.
Okay, you're a Cora Award-winning artist. I mean, we've got big personalities on the show tonight. So welcome to Sheffield.
Thank you.
Have you literally just come in today?
I came last night actually, and I came only for this program.
Great.
Yeah,
so that's really fantastic. I mean, you're an award-winning, you're an award nominee for the Cora Awards. I've seen that.
And Afrima as well.
And Afrima as well.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you've come all this way to support Rose Bazzie's album launch. What does that album mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. You know, your success is marked by how many persons you help to rise up, you know, in the space that you might live, or how many people that you put yourself into. And when she started this journey, she called on me for help, to help her through the process of doing the recording, putting the lyrics together and what have you. And I was there right from the beginning, and so when she said that it was time to release her debut album, I said, well, I have to be here. And so I showed her that I would do everything to be here, and lo and behold, I'm here.
Yeah, this is just amazing.
Yeah.
So looking at yourself, you've had a long career in the gospel industry. Mm-hmm. You're known across Africa, and obviously Rose is known in different aspects, but here she is launching an album.
Yeah.
How would you speak to the African diaspora young people who are aspiring to be like you and Rosie, to see what it takes to get to where you are?
Well, you just need to have a mind that you want to be. And there is a whole bunch of people out there that are ready to stretch out their hands to help you to achieve what you want to achieve. All they want to see is that mindset that I want to do this, especially for those ones that are in this country.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of opportunities out here. So you can go ahead. I mean, once you discover that you have the talent, you can just reach out to people and say, I need to do this. They can guide you, mentor you as to how to go about it.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage the young people, do not get involved into bad things, don't get involved into crimes or what have you. You are so full of talent. Africa is so full of talented people, and you can never know until you take the first step. So venture into getting your talent out there, and you shall be on the world stage.
Oh, thank you so much. It's the amazing Kanvee Adams on African Voices.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to African Voices TV.
Thank you.
And thank you for having us. You had an amazing album launch tonight.
Yes, it was great.
Any thoughts?
Enjoy it. Oh, well, I really enjoy it. This has been my dream, to be able to just bring people together and bring smile. My aim of singing is just to promote happiness through singing, and I could see it tonight, so I'm really, really grateful to God.
I have to say, we were happy. I enjoyed the dance.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the music itself, and I think you had a very good response. So your album is Grateful Heart.
Yes.
You told me that. We had a chat about it. So what is it you're grateful for? What's it all about? What's your journey?
Well, I'm grateful for life because my life, my situation, my story started from when the war started in Liberia, and I have to live for 12 years. I was 12 years old, go and live in Guinea for about 14 years before coming to UK. And life in Guinea was so difficult. And God blessed us to come to Sheffield. We entered Sheffield 2004, and Sheffield has been lovely. People are so friendly, and they love me. And I didn't stop my dream. Every time they gave me one opportunity, I was grateful for it. Every time I had to go to school, somebody said, okay, I'm teaching you to go to English level 2, I was grateful. So because of that, from that grateful heart, welcoming and appreciating whatever come my way, something that somebody helping with, that God passed through somebody to be a blessing to me, I was always grateful, and I'm still grateful. So this grateful heart came about. It doesn't have to be 100% and perfect, but even if it's 50%, be grateful.
Absolutely. I mean, you've been an inspiration to quite a lot of the African diaspora, and I know that you're a community leader within the West African community. You've attracted quite a big crowd today, and inclusive of that, you had Kanvee Adams, who is quite famous on the continent.
She's like the Beyonce of Liberia.
She is the Beyonce of Liberia, but also in the gospel circles, I think she's quite close up there. So what's your link with her? I noticed you sang a song together.
I think the link is that we all came from the suffering background. When the war started, I lost quite lots of family members, and then she having to be the same situation and living a difficult life. So her song, she started singing before me, so her song inspired me, and then her story and my story are almost like the same. So because of that, we click. When I wrote my song, she said, oh yeah, I wrote similar song to that before, so we can work together. I will come and feature you. And then I wrote everything, wrote all the lyrics, and then she came to studio just to motivate me to say that you can do anything you want to do, because somebody who deter me. So if I want something, I try to connect with somebody who's there, who can lead the way and tell me what to do. So I click with her. That's how we got away. Yeah.
So absolutely, we all need mentors. You seem to have used the mentor in the best way possible. Is that a message you'd like to send out to Africans in diaspora about using mentors? Because I think there are quite a lot of people who've had it easier, some have had it tougher, and some people have had it similar to you. But that's a journey, individual journey. But there's also got to be a space where everybody is thinking, I need to get to this level. Mentorship, you were talking about a mentor. Talk to the young people.
That's right. Yeah, for me, when it comes to mentorship, it's something that, it's like the person is like a role model. You see the example of what they're saying to you. I am a mentor, I do mentorship, even as a nurse who has worked for 6 years. I serve as mentor for the students, for the newly qualified, because what happens is that somebody who's trying to get into something, either a course or a career or something, you need somebody who's been there before to tell you all the experience, the bad and good, because it won't be 100% perfect. Everything there, you got ups and downs. So a mentorship is very good, and I always like to encourage migrants or refugees, how you call them. If you want to do something, you are determined to do it, you can do it. If you find your way, connect with the people, the mentors, people who've been through it, somebody will always lead the way. Don't sit home, don't be reluctant. Anything you are determined to do, you can even touch the sky. That's one of my songs. Believe in yourself, believe in what you can do. And find a mentor, click in there. Yeah, I am today.
Get there.
Yeah.
Your album, how many songs has it got?
I got 6 songs.
You've got 6 songs on the album. And where did you get it? Were all the songs recorded in the UK or in Liberia itself?
All recorded in Liberia, because I wanted to have the taste of my home. I wrote them all here, and then when I went back after 20 years, I thought, come on, let's go in the studio, record it. Because the reason I did it in Liberia was to encourage and motivate, because I got a program, I got a project going on with the youth and young adults of Liberia, the gospel music. Most of them have lost the taste of it, because they think that you have no sponsor, you have no help, except you are doing secular music and other things. I wanted to tell them that we can still boost gospel music. So when I went, we did everything together. I collected most of the youth who had no opportunity of even meeting Kanvee Adams. We all went to the studio and we met Kanvee Adams, and she talked to them, and now she's in connection with them. She even recorded some of the songs when I've left with 4 of the youths. It's on the song. It's called, what's the name of it? I forgot it now. It's a reggae song.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think I might have heard it. There was quite a lot of upbeat music, actually.
That's right.
So one of them was with the young people.
That's
then.
right. So we joined together, all the young people. We put our voices together, and I told them that this project are going on. Because I was in a situation looking for somebody who can give me the opportunity to just sing and just have the opportunity of bringing joy to me. Because when I sang, I didn't have any boundary. I sang with the Congolese, singing Lingala, I can't understand. I sang in Guinea with Pele, Guillaume, Mano, all the traps. Once I'm singing, just tell me what I'm doing. We will sing along.
So
And
just
they brought me
another
to-
phenomenal
I love it.
woman.
Yes, I love it.
Just another phenomenal woman. A mother, a community leader, a pastor, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes, a
a nurse,
And a musician.
and a musician now.
Yes,
And so, which record label are we eyeing now?
Oh, well, we can talk about the music now, and then we'll be talking about something else when we on another level. Because I also work with women. I empower women. If you've seen all the women tonight,
Yeah.
once you talk about gathering of women to sponsor or to motivate and encourage them, I'm in it.
That's where you are.
I'm in it because I got a bunch of experiences and I know that it's tough to be a mother, to have 4 children, 5 or 6. I know why it is. You need to have people to lift each other's arms up. So for women empowerment, I'm in it. Youth empowerment, I'm in it. Children, so I don't know. I'm here for everything.
Before we head out,
Yeah.
I noticed you had a CD and people have been buying your CD.
That's right.
But for wider reach, is
Yeah.
there presence? Do you have an online presence where people
Yes.
can buy your album?
Yes, tonight it will be on YouTube, it will be on iTunes, it will be on all the media.
Okay, and what's
Yeah,
your
tonight we'll be listening.
platform? What's your platform?
Well, it's on here. You can see iTunes there.
Okay.
YouTube, you can go there. You got my name on Facebook. It
Okay,
will all be
so
on
we
there.
find Rose Bazzie
Yeah.
on Facebook,
That's
Bazzie one. Lovely. Well, thanks so much for joining us. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much for coming. You look beautiful.
You look amazing yourself. This is the African touch.
I like it.
That was African Voices with Rose
you
Bazzie.
very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Who made it possible? The songwriter says, who made it possible? And I say today, with a grateful heart, that you made it possible. So, Father, before we were born, you knew us by our names, so you know each and every one of us here tonight. And so some of us have come here tonight celebrating, but yet we are carrying some issues. And those you have declared, come unto me, all you that are wearing heavy laden, now will give you rest. You said, cast your burden unto me, so I declare that whoever have entered here tonight, oh God, because of the anointing in this place, they will not leave the same. May that healing around, may that breakthrough come true. In the name of Jesus. As we leave from here, we are not leaving your presence. May your Holy Spirit continue to drive us, walk with us, even if we are flying, oh God. You are everywhere. That's what we call you, God, omnipresent. So we thank you for today and thank you for tomorrow. We pray for the food, we pray for the drinks, we pray for everything. And we say thank you, just thank you and thank you and thank you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the blessed Holy Spirit. Go in peace, the evil is over in Jesus' name. Hallelujah.
So there you have it. We've had a fantastic evening here at the album launch for Grateful Heart by Rose Bazzie, right here in the heart of Sheffield. Through the show, we have shown you, we've spoken to the Minister Counsellor for Press Affairs at the Liberian High Court Embassy in London, and we've also spoken to the amazing choral award-winning artist, Kanvee Adams. You will have seen Rose herself, an inspirational woman, and we enjoyed the show. Get her album. Thank you for joining us tonight on African Voices TV.